Yeah, 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 yeah. How we doing? How we doing? Laptop stream. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Previously on Kimba TV. Will you look at that? Let's get nasty! Finally! Long should be down here, in my opinion. So, huh? Okay, awesome, good shit. Well, happy Tuesday, y'all. Who juicing? Music almost non-hearable. Oh, word? Maybe that's better though. Just want it kind of like in the background, you know? Happy Tuesday, y'all. All right, let me just load. Okay, so I think that's good. Okay, we Gucci, we Gucci, we Gucci. All right, any questions? Everybody's caught up on the thang? Devil in a can says they fucking front ran us. What do you mean they? And what do you mean us? Half Yeet, what's going on? LF Brielle, what's going on? How many people in shorts? Devil in a can says, well, me, couple more lions from Discord. Well, you lions need to learn. You gotta learn. I'm senses I missed it by $50. So you know what that tells me? If you miss the short, it means that you can't see bad lows and bad highs. Giovanni says, I remember yesterday you said to short that level 64.4. Yup. Tigran says CME didn't sweep, so I didn't took it. It did sweep. Yep, so you want to go over it real quick again, ladies and gentlemen? YG says I missed it by $20. That tells me you don't know where a bad high is. If you miss the short, then you 100% don't know where a bad high is. Would that be fair to say? It swept the bad high. There's your bad high. It got swept. Okay, and I do think it's also golden pocket too. It looks like it's golden pocket. Yeah, it's pixel perfect golden pocket. Okay, yeah, but don't worry about it if you didn't get the short. It's not that big of a deal. The main purpose of the short attempt here is to clean these guys. So it depends on how badly you want to take the short. If you want to make sure that you get filled on the short, then you got to put your entry right above the bad high. If you want to get the perfect entry and finagle and you don't really care if you miss it or not, then you can put it at like golden pocket or whatnot. And so that bad high cleaned. Next bad low at 62.5. Sounds Gucci? So nothing's really changed since yesterday. So if you really wanted to get in on the short, then you need to remember that technically your entry should be right behind or below the sweep. So if anything, you can think about that for the long attempt. Manolo says, I was greedy and waiting the 786 to short. Is that still in play? Nope, it is not. The only reason why I would want it to come down is if I can squeeze in a little dot thing. You know what I mean? But as you guys all should know, I have all of my longs still rocking. So I don't mind if it doesn't want to sweep that 62.5. The only reason why I would really want that 62.5 to get swept is maybe so I can get in on a dot thing. If you really wanted to short, you had the bad highs right there to get swept. It's swept. Now you have the bad lows that need to get swept. Okay, so if this goes up now, there is no more shorts to be taken. I'm not going to take a short. The only short that you really had was this guy right here when the bad lows got swept. And the only reason why to short really would be so that you could try to get a log down here. Schwiggity schwaggity. Yeah, so if this goes up now, I would not short anymore. Jeremy says, can we do ETH BTC TA? The thing with ETH BTC TA is you're going to have to wait until the daily candle close. Here you go. The only thing for me on ETH BTC is I want to make sure that this daily candle close is above this trend line. Other than that, I don't know if you remember us doing this a while back. I would tolerate it all the way to go to the 7.5 if it needed to, but I wanted to have a daily candle close above that orange line. Alrighty. Love you too, MEXC83, Sankit, what's going on? YG says, I was thinking of short again when it goes up. I was completely wrong. It's not really so much that you're wrong, but there is no reason to because you already cleaned the bad highs. So YG, if you have bad highs and you clean them and you go back up, more likely than not, it's going to make a higher high and it's going to try to change the structure. So it's going to try to make a higher high. And then when it does, and it does a pullback, structurally, it's supposed to make a higher low. So as long as you understand that and you want to, scalp it from here to here or something, then that's okay. But the easier trade would be to look for a long at that point. Okie dokie. YG, there's really no right or wrong, but yeah, you typically do not want to get the higher high short of a bad high sweep. Bear Like says, hey, yo, we in a thang. Hey, we always in a thang, homie. Viper says, why are we getting low volume these days? Is it really low volume? You talking about CME or are you talking about derivatives? Omkar says, how does the amount of time it spends under 62.5 affect how you look at the area? I guess structurally, if it's got structure, Omkar. Feeling bored says CME didn't clean those. Yeah, but are they bad on CME? So like I said earlier, feeling bored, I feel like if you couldn't identify that high, then you can't tell what a bad high and a bad low is. And just because it's a bad high on derivatives doesn't mean it's a bad high on CME, right? So the trend down is not actually a trend. The trend is actually up on the higher time frame, Teeny. As long as it doesn't lose like 61 on the higher time frame, it is higher. Feeling bored says, I didn't know that, LOL, my bad. That's okay, feeling bored. What I would want you to do, brother, is I wrote this a couple of times last week, but everybody should have something like this where it's like CME, Binance, Bybit, Coinbase, ETF, you should have a chart like this, and you should know what happens when there isn't a bad high on CME, but there's a bad high on Binance. Wow, I hate where this puts it. They don't have it here. What happens? What happens when this bad high is only on CME and nothing else has a bad high or a bad low? What happens? What happens if it's just on Coinbase and CME, but derivatives don't have? What happens? You should have this cheat sheet. Feeling bored? Okay? Not just what happens if they have bad lows and bad highs, but also what happens if they got swept. So what happens if CME has a bad low, but the CME one doesn't get swept and only the derivatives do? It'll help if you have that little cheat sheet in the future. Feeling bored? Do you know that 62.5 is the next bad low? It's a weak low. Alpezy says, in instances like this where you filled for a hedge and it swept a bad high, do you still keep your stop at a higher high or move it to break even since the bad high was swept? You should not lose money on any hedge short. You should not lose any money. So at this point, Alpezy, I would put my stop loss right here. It shouldn't break that high. In fact, this is pretty normal right here. That's actually Gucci. Even more probability for this, for it to do that little think. So I think all we really have to do is just, have a preparation for that. If you're already in a long, that's okay. Make sure you don't take a loss, and then what you would do if and when it gets down here. But Alpezy, this short right here, it should not lose this. So that's your stop loss and profit on the short. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy stuff for today. Sounds good, Alpezy? Yeah, so this is actually good. This little think is very good for an attempt to get down here. So you would put your stop loss at break even right there. For 11P says, God, please give me that box and a nasty shadow. Well, the reason why we wanted to make sure to get into a hedge short is this is starting to be a little bit iffy if we get down here. So you do know that if it spends too much time down here, that's not good. Okay, it's got to be a swing fail, or maybe 2, 3 30-minute candles below is what I would tolerate. That's about it. Schwiggity schwaggity! Who juicing? Everybody juicing? Let's go! Juicy fruit, hoes! Come on! How we doing? All right, shall we Latuche up? Shall we Latuche up? Let me load up the chat. How are you guys freaking out? Monkey, TS calling noob, Venom, Coca. Let's let us up. Let's let us up, baby. Let's Latuche up. Come on, we got to get above that 1 milli. We got to get above that 1 milli. We're back above a milli. Schwiggity, schwiggity. Testnet. Testnet. Come on. Testnet. Testnet. Come on. Schwiggity. Schwiggity. Come on. We're back above a milli again. Let's go, testnet. Testnet. Gotta be. Juicy juice. Get nasty. All right, let's Latuche up, y'all. How we doing, y'all? Hayato says, are you still looking for head short around the 64.6? Definitely rewind and get caught up, Hayato. Basically, the bad highs already got swept. Okay? The bad high, wow, look at that, pixel perfect. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the bad high already got swept. Okay? So that means that if the price starts visiting, it's already changing structure. So, Hayato, the short is now invalid. Do you remember when I said if it dips first and it goes back, I'm probably not going to take the short? I don't know if it's valid or not anymore. Yeah, the only reason, Hayato, to take the short was to clean the bad high, which it already did earlier. Does that make sense, Hayato? So, you might still be able to get like a short, but it's going to try to change market structure. The only reason why you would maybe still aim to take a short is if you're really convinced that the bad low is going to get swept at some point. Hayato says, Gucci, I will rewind again to see your detailed explanation. Yeah, so the short is no longer Gucci, in my opinion. The only reason why you would try the short here is you're really convinced that the bad low has to get swept. And you're not even going to understand this, but that's identifying bad low, okay? So you don't know what a bad low is. You don't know how to play a swing fail pattern, because a swing fail pattern could deviate $1,000, $800, okay? So theoretically, like, your limits are closer to here, right? You don't know how to play it because, you don't know how to pull the fib to go from there and then putting limits like that and then putting your lower low as your stop loss. So do not take a long at 62.5. You're going to get wrecked. You have a lot to learn. Learn first, okay? Chat, is that fair to say? I'm not trying to gatekeep like a good trade, okay? But if he's asking me, are we longing 62.5? What am I supposed to say? Right? Because he doesn't know that it's just a bad low. Okay? He doesn't know about the swing failure pattern and that it can deviate. Because what if he puts an entry at 62.520 and then his dumbass puts a stop loss at 62 and I'm getting filled at 62? Right? There's so much that he's not understanding that I can't even... Yeah, I'm not trying to gatekeep a trade, brother. I'm not trying to gatekeep, but there's so much. There's so much, okay? So let me try to help you. That is a bad low, okay? Structural edge, there might be a swing failure pattern, okay? That's one type of edge. You could have a failed auction, okay? You could have a 3 drives, okay? And you could also have a Kimba crown, very similar to what we're doing right now. Okay? So you have structural edge. You're going to probably be thinking about, is this some sort of, hidden bull div? Okay? You might be looking for, an Aquaman's Trident with that as a regular bull div and that is a hidden bull div. Okay? So you've got div inside of a div. Okay, you've got, deviations of structure, okay? You want to, you got to know volume and why I have the box like that. You got to understand Fibonacci, okay? Because, once it goes to 7.5, because on a bigger time frame, brother, this is the play that we're waiting on. Okay, this is the bigger time frame. This is the 4 hours. So once it goes to 7.5, it's supposed to rotate, and then it's supposed to pivot back here, and then it's supposed to figure out if it wants to go or not at the 618. Okay, this is the thing that I'm looking for. Okay, so there's all this in play, brother, that we've been talking about and tracking that comes into play when we think about taking a long there. I'm not trying to gatekeep and be like a dick and be like, no, you need to go watch my highlights. It's not like that, brother. I really genuinely want you to juice, and I want you to understand how this is played, brother. Okay? So no, we are not longing 62.5. Conceptually, if it swing fails that bad low, yes, we would be looking to long that. But do not put a limit at 62.5, brother. Okay? And I hope you really understand that I really want you to genuinely juice. I'm not trying to like be a dick and like gatekeep a trade or anything like that, okay? But there's so much in play, and I don't want you to, I'm going to juice the fuck up. And somehow, some way, you're going to figure out a way to lose money if you don't know what you're doing. And then you're going to be like, oh, I thought you told me to long 62.5. I'm going to change my name to Mario Fibonacci. Fucking testnet, bitch. That's how it starts. That's how the villains are created, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So I really genuinely want you to juice. I hope you understand that, okay? All right? Now, nobody is saying that it's going to go down to 62.5. Everybody understands that, right? We're not predicting the future, but best believe that if it does go down to 62.5, I know what data I'm going to look at. I know how I'm going to be able to understand if it's bullish or not, and I know if it's going to be worth taking a shot or not. I'm also going to know, oh my God, this looks super ass. We're going to fucking nuke. I need to close all my longs. Okay? I'm going to know, holy shit, this looks really bad. I need to close my longs right now. I'm going to also be able to do that too. Okay? At the end of the day, the data is the exact same for everybody. The CVD, the open interest, can we read it and interpret it correctly? That's all it comes down to. Does it look bullish? Does it look bearish? That's it. We're not predicting the future, y'all. Okay? I hope that makes sense. But after all that is said, though, ladies and gentlemen, we have talked about everything, the structural edge, the deviations, why we put that box there. So if you go back and rewind, I think you're going to be able to understand how I'm going to play it and why I would play it. So there's no right or wrong. If you want to put blind limits at 62.5 because you understand everything that I said and more and all the stuff that we talked about, and you're on 3x leverage and it really doesn't make a difference, you know, you're going to keep it simple and you want to play a 62.5 sweep. So you're going to do a 3x, you know, small position to see what it does on the bigger Fibonacci. That's awesome. Yeah, and then other than that, I think what you may want to keep into consideration is that my hedge shorts will always be half the position size of my longs. So if you put a gun to my head, I mean, and you ask me which bias I have a bullish bias, yes? My pleasure, H9. I hope that helps, brother. I hope that helps, but I gotta be really careful about people that just, you know, pop in and out. I need to make sure that they know what I'm doing and not like misinterpret shit, you know? How many of y'all want previous day value area low to be turned into support and we get a full rotation? How many of y'all are in a short, but you want that sweep so that you can long from the bad low? How many of y'all are in a short, but in a goofy ass turn of events, you actually want to long that sweep? How many of y'all took a long from the previous day value area low and golden pocket with a stop loss on a lower low, and you know that you might take a little bit of a small L if you're wrong here, and you're still going to take an attempt at a swing fail long, or you're just going to add to the swing fail long? Happy Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. What a day. Tafisa, shout outs to you, Tafisa. Vanquisher, I'll see you guys in about 8-9 hours. Alex, Kazi, Hassan, Deselok, The math is the math. The plan is the plan. Schwiggity, schwaggity, schwaggity, schwiggity. Hey, I don't have that video clip, so I'm going to do it freestyle. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. Kachoi Shiba! All right, y'all. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. Stay safe. I'll see you guys in about 8-9 hours. Sounds good? Have a great day. Stay safe. I can't wait to see where we're at in 8-9 hours, y'all. Peace, everybody. Bugatti.